Welcome to Let's Talk Literature. I'm Em,
And I'm Will.
and we're two book lovers who wanted to combine our passions for reading and gossiping and share it with the world.
Whether you're looking for a new book to pick up or a new book friend, you come to the right place.
So grab a coffee
Or a little wine, and let's talk
literature.
Hello.
Hello.
How are you today?
I'm slightly healthier than last week,
Good.
but I still
Very good.
sound like this, so
You
sorry.
sound all right to me. You sound okay.
Just a little nasally, a little congested, but much better. What's new? I am reading a book that's on this list that we're talking about today, and I love it, so I'm
Ooh.
excited to get into that.
Nice. Very nice.
Yeah, no, not really much else. How are you? What's new?
I'm good. My reading has been kind of lacking the last week or so. I've been listening to audiobooks. I just listened to Stanley Tucci's audiobook, What I Eat in a Year, or What I Ate in a Year.
Yeah.
Hated it.
It's so
Actually
bad.
hated it.
I don't know who read that. Who approved that?
I don't know. And it's one thing for I liked the idea of the book. It's just basically diary entries of what he ate each day of the year, and he adds his little flair to it, which I like. Stanley Tucci. Don't get me wrong. I do like him a lot. I've watched so many movies with him in it. I think he's a great actor. I think he's a good human. He was an asshole, and just very condescending the entire book.
He was a bitch.
Yeah, he kept talking down to the reader, and I was like,
Yes.
okay.
And
I
also,
just
the part where he talked, I was really skeeved out by the fact that he doesn't produce saliva.
there was a lot of
What
weird,
are we? What?
weird things in it, and
It was just weird. It was unsettling.
Yeah, I mean, there were cool parts where he talked how he cooked for other celebrities and all the different adventures he went on, the different countries with different cuisines. But I texted you this. I really just thought that it was an excuse for him to put Italian inflection on words.
No, it 100% was. It's like somebody who studied abroad and they come back and they're speaking
that's
in
how it felt. That's how it felt completely. He just kind of felt it seemed like a mean girl.
Pasta.
He just seemed like a mean girl. Pasta. The way he said or what did he say? Parmigiana.
Parmigiano.
Dude, we're doing too
Parmigiano
much.
Reggiano.
We're doing too much.
That's why I said, I forget whatever month it was, maybe February or something, that I tried reading that. And I said, I think in my review on here, I was like, I only think you'll like it if you are really into Stanley Tucci or really into Italian food. And when I say really, really.
Obsessed.
Yeah.
Because I'm a fan. I'm a fan of both.
Me too. I love Stanley Tucci
it.
and I love Italian food.
Yeah. I didn't like it though. Not one bit.
I'm glad we're on the same page with that.
But speaking of Stanley Tucci, I am still reading Sunrise on the Reaping.
Good transition.
But I know, a little Caesar Flickerman action.
That was good.
The casting for him being Kieran Culkin.
Yeah.
Amazing.
I saw somebody saying who approved this, and I was like, what? I was
He's
like,
gonna do good.
I thought we liked that. I like that. I think that's spectacular.
He's gonna do good. He's gonna be great. I don't know how people don't have trust in him, but I think
no idea, because I saw the vision and I think it'll be fantastic. I also am loving the auditions on TikTok.
Oh, amazing!
Oh, it's incredible.
Actually amazing.
I could scroll for hours.
Oh yeah, because I've probably seen one serious one.
Yeah, and it was that girl singing, and she was fantastic. I don't know if you saw that one.
Yeah, she'll probably get it.
I think honestly, she will.
Yeah, I haven't picked it back up.
How?
But it's not because I don't like it. It's because I haven't been reading at all.
Okay.
I've also just been watching Overcompensating, the new series on Amazon Prime.
I never heard of it.
By Benito Skinner, the guy from TikTok.
Yeah.
Oh my
I
god.
don't know who
Yeah.
that is.
You don't.
I'm like,
Oh my
yeah.
God. He's like big
Yeah.
on. He was big on Vine, and like
The
now
name
he's.
sound. I thought you were gonna say Benito, like Bad Bunny.
Oh no.
Isn't that his name? I was
Maybe.
like, yeah, Bad Bunny.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. This guy did like the Kourtney Kardashian impression that went viral.
Oh. Where he's
Maybe
like
if you're-
holding
maybe.
things.
Potentially.
Okay, whatever.
He was on the Kardashians because of it.
Okay, I think I know who you're talking about, but I'll get back to you on that.
Well, he has created a new show called Overcompensating, and it's
Okay.
about this guy in the closet and basically trying to find his way of coming out. But he's freshman in college, joining like a secret society, trying to do all the like
Ooh.
straight guy stuff. It does such a good job.
Wait, that sounds really interesting.
It's so good. The first, I will say the first 3 episodes are the most cringeworthy things I've ever watched in my life. But then it takes a turn and like actually gets really good. So as long as you get through like the first 3 episodes, you're set.
Sometimes
it's
I
really
love a
good.
cringy show.
Yeah, this is like ultimate cringe 1000. It's
I'm into that.
seeing that it's Pride Month. Maybe you should watch Overcompensating.
I think
because
I'd like
it's
to. It
fitting.
sounds good.
And speaking of Pride Month, we should go over the book club book real quick because
should.
the book club pick is an LGBTQ plus fiction. Correct?
Yes, it is. It is. We had some issues selecting this month's book club. We had
Yes, we did.
originally put out a poll with My Friends by Frederick Bachman, and that was what won. But we were informed by one of our lovely book club members that that book is not released in the UK until late June. We were back and forth what to do, but ultimately we decided to push that back to July, and we replaced My Friends with Taylor Jenkins Reid's new book, Atmosphere. I didn't want to include that in this month's poll because I'm dumb, and I thought it came out at the end of the month. I was wrong. It came out today when we're recording
Yes.
this. So Atmosphere has replaced My Friends. We let everybody vote again, and so far Atmosphere is what is winning. So I'm
Yes.
going to assume that that will be the book that we read this month.
We also did check. Atmosphere comes out in the UK and worldwide today as well.
Yep.
So everyone has
Everybody.
access to it today.
Worldwide.
So if it is picked, it will be available to everyone.
Yes.
And we're going on with the assumption for this episode that it is picked because of how far ahead it is from the other picks.
Yeah, definitely.
So with that being said, make sure to go join us on Fable so that you can read along and contribute to the conversation. We can do chapter by chapter discussions, end of book discussions. Literally anything is fair game in there, because if you didn't read the book and you go into a chapter discussion and you see a spoiler, that's your fault.
It's your fault.
Sorry.
It's your fault.
It is so your fault.
You clicked there.
But
Anyways.
you've been warned. Anyways,
Sorry,
let's
we
get
just
into
got a little
today's.
rude.
Yeah, sorry about that. Let's get into
Let's
today's
jump in.
episode right now. So today we have 15 new releases that are coming out in the month of June. And we'll be going through letting you guys know the title, the author, the release date, the genre, the page count, and a little description of each one. So I think today's episode will be very informative, and you'll be able to add a couple books to your TBR,
Yes, you will.
because I know I will.
Yes, I will. All right, so let's jump right in. We're going to start off with Atmosphere by Taylor Jenkins Reid. Will, start us off. Give us the rundown.
Let's do it. So on June 3rd, which is the day we are recording this episode, Atmosphere by Taylor Jenkins Reid has been released. It is a literary fiction, also a historical fiction, and also an LGBTQ plus fiction. It has a page count of 352 pages. And let's dive into the description here. Joan Goodwin has been obsessed with the stars for as long as she can remember. She is content with her life as a professor of physics and astronomy, and as aunt to her precocious niece Frances, until she comes across an advertisement seeking the first women scientists to join NASA's space shuttle program. Suddenly, Joan burns to go to space. Selected from a pool of thousands of applicants in the summer of 1980, Joan begins training at Houston's Johnson Space Center, alongside an exceptional group of fellow candidates. Top Gun pilot Hank Redmond, and scientist John Griffin. Easygoing even when the stakes are high. Mission specialist Lydia Danes, who has worked too hard to play nice. Warm-hearted Donna Fitzgerald navigating her own secrets. And Vanessa Ford, the magnetic and mysterious aeronautical engineer who can fix any engine and fly any plane. As they become unlikely friends and prepare for their first flights, Joan finds a love she never imagined. In this new light, Joan begins to question everything she thinks she knows about her place in the observable universe. Then, in December of 1984, on mission STS-LR9, it all changes in an instant. Fast-paced, thrilling, and emotional, Atmosphere is Taylor Jenkins Reid at her best, telling a passionate and soaring story about the transformative power of love, this time among the stars.
I am so excited for that.
I am too. I think she's going to do a really good job because she just came out as bisexual, right?
I know. Yeah.
So this is definitely a personal, like, she wants to tell this story. I know she's had some books in the past that have had LGBTQ plus elements in them, correct?
Yeah.
But this seems like to be the forefront of the story, which is really nice.
Yep, I'm very excited. I think she's going to do amazing with this one, and fingers crossed that this is what we go with, because I feel like this is going to be so fun to talk about on here. All right, let's move on. The next one is one that I actually am in the middle of reading right now. I got sent this as an ARC. Don't Let Him In by Lisa Jewell. It comes out on June 24th. It's a thriller, obviously. Lisa Jewell is the queen of thrillers. And the page count is 368 pages, which is interesting because I have the book with me and it's like 500 and something pages. But perhaps it's just formatted differently.
Interesting.
Just going to say before I read the description, this book is fantastic. I'm 75% in, and I truly think this might be a 5-star thriller.
No way.
Yes, why?
Is it her best?
I think so. Yeah, no, it's so good. It's so good. It's so good. Okay, it feels like, you're going to laugh at me, but it feels like what Frida McFadden wants to do with thrillers, but to like like an actually well done and like experienced, talented author, you know?
Yeah, I gotcha.
All right, here's your description, everybody. Nina Swan is intrigued when she received a condolence card from Nick Radcliffe, an old friend of her late husband who was looking to connect after her husband's unexpected death. Nick is a man of substance and good taste. He has a smile that could melt the coldest heart and a knack for putting others at ease. But to Nina's adult daughter, Ash, Nick seems too slick, too polished, too good to be true. Without telling her mother, Ash begins digging into Nick's past. What she finds is more than unsettling. Martha is a florist living in a neighboring town with her infant daughter and her devoted husband, Alistair. But lately, Alistair has been traveling more and more frequently for work, disappearing for days at a time. When Martha questions him about his frequent absences, he always has a legitimate explanation, but Martha can't shake the feeling that something isn't right. Nina, Martha, and Ash are all on a collision course with a shocking truth that is far darker than anyone could have imagined, and all three are about to wish they had heeded the same warning. Don't let him in, but the past won't stay buried forever.
Ooh,
it's like a run-of-the-mill kind of plot.
Yeah.
But the writing is so good. Like, I've been reading it every night at night, and I cannot put it down. Like, I only stop reading because I'm falling asleep.
Wow. She's really good with, like, building an atmosphere. Is she doing the same with this?
So good.
Oh, I'm so excited to read it.
I'm creeped out. Yeah, I'm creeped out.
Did you get a paperback?
I did. I got a paperback.
That's wild. Maybe that's why it's more pages.
I think so.
Interesting.
Yeah,
wow.
very.
Look at you, little bougie gal. Come on now. Oh, and sorry if you hear Mr. Softy in the background.
No need to apologize for that.
He is here. All right, so for our next book, we have an author that a lot of people are very mixed on, I feel. I feel like people either love this author or not so much, think they're overhyped. But for me, I don't know. I think there's a couple books where I was loving, and then there's a couple where I absolutely did not like at all. So I'm curious to see what this one will give us. Our next book here is With a Vengeance by Riley Sager. This book comes out on June 10th. and the genre is typical for Riley Sager. It is a mystery / psychological thriller, coming in at 496 pages. So we got a little hefty one. Little hefty one. And here we go with the description. In 1942, 6 people destroyed Anna Matheson's family. 12 years later, she's ready for retribution. Under false pretenses, Anna has lured those responsible for her family's downfall onto a luxury train from Philadelphia to Chicago, an overnight journey of 14 hours. Her goal? Confront the people who have wronged her, get them to confess their crimes, and deliver them into the hands of authorities waiting at the end of the line. Justice will at last be served. But Anna's plan is quickly derailed by the murder of one of the passengers. As the train barrels through the night, it becomes clear that someone else on board is enacting their own form of revenge, and that they won't stop until everyone else is dead. With time running out before the train reaches its destination, Anna is forced to hunt the killer in their midst while protecting the people she hates the most. In order to destroy her enemies, she must first save them, even though it means putting her own life at risk.
It's very much giving Murder on the Orient Express,
I was
is
just
it
going to
not?
say that. I was just going to say that. Like, almost a direct copy.
Kind of weird.
Like, there's like a little bit more to it than Murder on the Orient Express, but like
A little, but
that is the premise of Murder on the
Kinda
Orient
weird.
Express. I mean,
very
isn't
curious to see.
isn't
what
he
people...
known to like take inspiration from Agatha Christie?
I'm not sure. Perhaps. I guess so after that.
Because I feel like the only one left is very much a similar
Then There Were None.
vibe to And Then There Were None.
Okay. Yeah, maybe
But-
then. I didn't know that. That would make sense.
I'm just pulling something out of my ass here. Like,
That's
I don't
fine,
really
you
know.
can.
I don't really
We'll
know.
go with it.
But I mean, this sounds exactly like Murder on the Orient Express. So.
No, like exactly. So I wouldn't be surprised.
So I feel like this is going to be put up on a pedestal to be compared to that book, which is like
Agreed.
you're going to be compared to
The
Miss Mystery over here, the
see
founder of
about
the
that.
mystery genre. You know,
We'll see.
so we'll see.
We'll see. All right. Next one is so highly anticipated, for me at least.
Mhm.
This is Bury Our Bones in the Midnight Soil by V.E. Schwab, and this releases on June 10th. It is a fantasy fiction slash LGBTQ, and it is a page count of 544, so another thick one, but as
That's
expected from
thickums.
like a fantasy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that makes sense.
All right, so let's read the description. 1532, Santo Domingo de la Calzada. A young girl grows up wild and wily. Her beauty is only outmatched by her dreams of escape, but Maria knows she can only ever be a prize or a pawn in the games played by men. When an alluring stranger offers an alternate path, Maria makes a desperate choice. She vows to have no regrets. This is a story about love. 1827 London. A young woman lives an idyllic but cloistered life on her family's estate until a moment of forbidden intimacy sees her shipped off to London. Charlotte's tender heart and seemingly impossible wishes are swept away by an invitation from a beautiful widow, but the price of freedom is higher than she could have imagined. This is a story about rage. 2019 Boston. College was supposed to be her chance to be someone new. That's why Alice moved halfway across the world, leaving her old life behind. But after an out-of-character one-night stand leaves her questioning her past, her present, and her future, Alice throws herself into the hunt for answers and revenge. It's a story about sapphic vampires.
Ooh.
Yep.
Okay. And we got 3 different timelines here.
Yep, I love when it's like 3 different timelines like that for like a fantasy.
Yeah.
So, we'll see.
Ooh.
Very excited for that one.
And you also got an arc for that one as well.
I did.
What the hell? What the hell?
What the hell? Sorry.
Incredible. I'm very jealous. We are really having a stacked month here because the next
I
book on our list is King of Ashes by S.A. Cosby. This book comes out on June 10th, and it is a crime fiction / thriller / mystery with a page count of 352 pages, which is pretty standard, I would say.
Mm-hmm.
When eldest son Roman is summoned home after his father's car accident, he finds his younger brother Dante in debt to dangerous criminals and his sister Neva exhausted from holding the family and the family's business together. Neva and her father, who run the Carruthers Crematorium, their last name, in the rundown central Virginia town of Jefferson Run, see death up close every day. But mortality draws even closer when it becomes clear that the crash that landed their father in a coma was no accident, and Dante's recklessness has placed them all in real danger. Roman, a financial whiz with a head for numbers and a talent for making his clients rich, has some money to help buy his brother out of trouble. But in his work with wannabe tough guys, he's forgotten that there are real gangsters out there. As his bargaining chips go up in smoke, Roman realizes that he has only one thing left to offer to save his brother, himself and his own particular set of skills. Roman begins his work for the criminals while Neva tries to uncover the long-ago mystery of what happened to their mother, who disappeared when they were teenagers. But Roman is far less of a pushover than the gangsters realize. He is willing to do anything to save his family. Anything. Because everything burns. There's a lot going on there.
There's a lot going on. I saw that was compared to, like, The Godfather.
Oh. Really?
Yep. Not my cup of tea.
No, not typically.
But
I
it does
do wanna
sound
read-
very interesting.
I do want to read a book by S.A. Cosby, though. I think All the Sinners Bleed is what I have first on my list.
Okay.
I don't know. I was just told that, like, he's a really good... He or she, I don't know. He, she, they.
I'm not sure.
Their work is really good, especially if you like true crime and really good thrillers. I heard that their books are really good.
I've heard that as well. I don't know if something I'll dive into, but definitely sounds good.
Yeah. Agreed.
All right, the next one is The Listeners by Maggie Stiefvater. This comes out the day we are recording, June 3rd. It is a historical fiction, and it is 400 pages. January 1942. The Avalon Hotel and Spa offers elegance and sophistication in an increasingly ugly world. Run with precision by June Hudson, the hotel's West Virginia born and bred general manager, the Avalon is where high society goes to see and be seen, and where the mountains Sweetwater and the fountains and spas can wash away all your troubles. Jane was trained by the Guilfoyles, the hotel's aristocratic owners, and she has guided the Avalon skillfully through the first pangs of war. Now, though the Guilfoyle family heir has made a secret deal with the State Department to fill the hotel with captured Axis diplomats, June must convince her staff, many of whom have sons and husbands heading to the front lines, to offer luxury to Nazis with a smile. She also must reckon with Tucker Minnick, the FBI agent whose cold tattoo hints at their shared past in the mountains, and whose search for the diplomat's secret disrupts the peace June is fighting so hard to maintain. Hers is a balancing act with dangerous consequences. The Sweetwater beneath the hotel can threaten as well as heal, and only June can manage the springs. As dark alliances and unexpected attractions crack the polished veneer of the Avalon, June must calculate the true cost of luxury.
All
Oh
right.
my.
That's a lot. Again.
It's a lot. It's definitely a lot. Something I'm definitely interested in. I love a World War II historical fiction mixed with, like, a high society spa.
Yeah, it's almost like a
creepy
political book in a way.
It definitely is. Yeah, I'm excited. I think that sounds very good.
The next book we have on our list here is Great Black Hope by Rob Franklin. This is actually an ARC that I received. So I'm very
jealous.
excited.
This sounds good.
Very excited about that. Yeah, I know. I was a little like, I saw it on the list and I was like, oh, I have that. I actually have that. This comes out on June 10th. It is a literary and contemporary fiction and also an LGBTQ plus fiction. This is also 320 pages, so pretty short, right?
Love that.
It's pretty standard. Love that. An arrest for cocaine possession in the Hamptons on the last day of a sweltering summer leaves Smith, a young black queer graduate, in a state of turmoil. Pulled into the court system and mandated treatment, he finds himself in an absurd but dangerous situation. His class protects him, but his race does not. It is just weeks after the death of his beloved roommate Elle, a glamorous member of the black elite, and he is still reeling from the tabloid spectacle, as well as the lingering question of how well he really knew his closest friend and what happened to her the night she died. When he flees to his hometown of Atlanta and generations of his family of doctors and college presidents and lawyers, the weight of expectations haunt him. Then Carolyn, the closest friend he has left, goes off the rails. Smith returns to New York only to lose himself in his old life, drawn back into the city's underworld. Will his search for the truth about Elle cost him his freedom and his future? Smith goes on a dizzying journey through the New York City nightlife circuit, anonymous recovery rooms, Atlanta's black society set, police investigations and courtroom dramas, and a circle of friends coming of age in a new era. Great Black Hope is a propulsive, glittering story about what it means to exist between worlds, to be upwardly, mobile, yet spiraling downward, and how to find a way back to hope. It seems
I could
like a
picture
very,
that.
I know. It seems like a very deep,
Yes.
sad book, which I love. I love those
I'm very
books.
interested to see how that plays out in 320 pages because that
Yeah.
sounds like a lot.
That's a lot. That's definitely a lot.
Sounds like a lot. It sounds really good though.
I plan to read it, so I will let you know how it is.
Yeah. Keep us updated for sure.
Yeah, I will. For sure. For sure.
This next one, I found this while I was putting this list together. I hadn't heard of it before, and I think it sounds really good. This is The Compound by Aisling Raw. This comes out June 24th, and it is a psychological/dystopian fiction thriller. It is 304 pages, so definitely a short one. This might be a debut. It is a debut, so keep that in mind. Lily, a bored, beautiful 20-something, wakes up on a remote desert compound alongside 19 other contestants competing on a massively popular reality show. To win, she must outlast her housemates to stay in the compound the longest, while competing in challenges for luxury rewards like champagne and lipstick, plus communal necessities to outfit their new home, like food, appliances, and a front door. Cameras are watching all her angles, good and bad, but Lily has no desire to leave. Why would she, when the world outside is falling apart? As the competition intensifies, intimacy between the players deepens, and it becomes increasingly difficult to distinguish between desire and desperation. When the unseen producers raise the stakes, forcing contestants into upsetting, even dangerous situations, the line between playing the game and surviving it begins to blur. If Lily makes it to the end, she'll receive prizes beyond her wildest dreams. But what will she have to do to win? Addictive and prescient, The Compound is an explosive debut from a major new voice in fiction and will linger in your mind long after the game ends.
So this is just Big Brother on steroids. And
Big Brother and perhaps like Squid Games?
Yeah, I love that. I
love
will
it.
actually read that, and I will be putting that on my TBR. I'm not even lying.
Doesn't it sound so good? I read that and I was
sounds
like,
amazing.
sold, ad.
That actually just hearing that just gave me an idea for something to write.
Oh,
Like
love
that just, I don't know. It just, I love that a lot. Thank you
Love
for
that.
finding that. That is
so
going right
welcome.
on my TBR.
Fantastic. That's the point of today.
Yeah, it is. Guys, just add these, as you're listening, just go on Goodreads and just want to read, you know?
Exactly.
Because
That's what we're here for. We're doing the hard work.
Exactly. Some of these are lesser known authors, so give them their flowers. Give them their flowers.
Exactly.
Speaking of flowers, I'm kidding, but this next one is a romance, so that's funny.
It is.
This is Sounds Like Love by Ashley Poston. This comes out on June 17th, and it is a romance, but also like a paranormal romance. Interesting.
Have you read? You didn't read The 7-Year Slip, right?
I have not. No.
She's the same author.
Oh,
Mm-hmm.
I did not know that.
Yes.
So thank you for that insight.
You're welcome.
Because I would have just not said that.
You're welcome.
We have a page count here of 384 pages. Joni Lark has a secret. She is one of the most coveted songwriters in LA, and yet she can't write. There's an emptiness inside her, and nothing seems to fill it. When she returns to her hometown of Vienna Shores, North Carolina, she hopes that the sand, the surf, and the concerts at the Revelry, her family's music venue, will spark inspiration. But when Joni gets there, nothing is how she left it. Her best friend is hiding something, her mother's memories are fading fast, and the revelry is closing. I cannot say that. Revelry is closing.
I hate that. I can't say that word either. Revelry.
Revelry. Until she hears it, a melody in her head, lyricless and half-formed, and an alluring and addictive voice to go with it, belonging apparently to a wry musician with an emptiness of his own. Surely, he's a figment of Joni's overworked imagination. Then a very real man shows up in Vienna Shores. He's arrogant and guarded, nothing like the sweet, funny voice in Joni's head, and he has a plan for breaking their inconvenient telepathic connection. Finish the song haunting them both and hope they don't risk their hearts or their secrets in the process. Because that melody, the one drawing them together, what if it's there for a reason?
Okay, like, now hear me out. I did really love the 7-Year Slip, and I like how she mixes like science fiction elements with romance.
Yeah.
Like she did time travel with the 7-Year Slip. I am so turned off from any book surrounding music since we read Deep Cuts.
Yeah, that's tough.
I don't want to. Like, I'm like so against it.
Yeah, I actually agree with that, to be honest. Deep Cuts really just did a number, and not a good one. And not a good one.
It traumatized me.
Yeah, I have to agree with that. But I mean, this will be for someone.
Yeah,
just
absolutely.
Maybe not for
Perhaps
us.
not us. All right, this next one apparently is heavily inspired and based off of is it Henry the Eighth or Ninth, who had all the wives, the 6 wives?
I think it's Henry the Eighth.
Whichever Henry.
One of
the
them.
Henrys.
One.
So this is 6 Wild Crowns by Holly Reese, and this comes out on June 10th. It is a fantasy, and it is 416 pages. As tradition has it, the King of Elbin must marry 6 queens and magically bind each of them to one of the island's palaces, or the kingdom will fall. Clever, ambitious Bolin is determined to be her beloved Henry's favorite queen. She relishes the games at court and the political rivalries with his other wives. Seymour is the opposite. Originally sent to Bolin's court as a reluctant spy and assassin, she ends up catching Henry's eye and is forced into a loveless marriage with the king. But when the 2 queens become the unlikeliest of things, friends and allies, the balance of power begins to shift. Together they uncover a dark and deadly truth at the heart of the island's magic. Bolin and Seymour's only hope of survival rests on uniting all 6 of the rival queens, but Henry will never let that happen.
So really just took the name Henry and went with it.
It is quite literally a fantasy reimagining of history.
Henry VIII.
Yeah, so I'm actually very excited for that because I find that period of history quite interesting. So I'll definitely be reading it at some point.
Let's go into the next book, which is We Don't Talk About Carol by Kristen L. Berry. This comes out June 3rd, which is today, if we haven't said that enough already. Our genre here is thriller/contemporary fiction, and it has a 336 page count. In the wake of her grandmother's passing, Sydney Singleton finds a hidden photograph of a little girl who looks more like Sydney than her own sister or mother. She soon discovers the mystery girl in the photograph is her Aunt Carol, who was one of 6 North Carolina black girls to go missing in the 1960s. For the last several decades, not a soul has talked about Carol or what really happened to her. But now, with her grandmother gone and Sydney looking to start a family of her own, she is determined to unravel the truth behind her long-lost aunt's disappearance and the sinister silence that surrounds her. Unfortunately, this is familiar territory for Sydney. Years earlier, while she worked the crime beat as a journalist, her obsession with the case of another missing girl led to a psychotic break. And now, in the suffocating grip of fertility treatments and a marriage that's beginning to crumble, Sydney's relentless pursuit for answers might just lead her down the same path of self-destruction. As she delves deeper into Carol's fate, her own troubled past reemerges, clawing its way to the surface with a vengeance. The web of secrets and lies entangling her family leaves Sydney questioning everything. Her fixation on the missing girls, her future as a mom, and her trust in those she knows and loves best. Delving into family, community, secrets, and motherhood, We Don't Talk About Carol is a gripping and deeply emotional story about overcoming the rot at the roots of our family trees and what we'll do for those we love.
That sounds really good.
That sounds really interesting. I'm not going to lie.
I'm sold for that one.
I love a nice, deep investigative thriller. Like, when an investigative thriller goes beyond just like, oh, I'm a cop investigating this crime, like where there's actual trauma and like character build.
Like we're looking at like the trauma at the roots of their family tree. Sold. Reminds me of Liz Moore.
Yes, that's the exact vibe I got too.
The next book we have is Park Avenue by Renee Adia. This comes out on June 3rd. It is considered a women's fiction, and it is 320 pages. As the daughter of Korean bodega owners, Jia Song promised herself that she would have every luxury when she grew up. Now she's made junior partner at her prestigious law firm, and it's all finally within reach. So when her boss asks her to sit in on a hush-hush family implosion of a client, she accepts without hesitation, only to find out that it is one of the most famous Korean families in the world. The Parks and their mega successful Korean beauty brand are worth $1 billion. But the father is filing for divorce while his wife is dying, and the children can't stop fighting. With both the family fortune and their legacy under threat from the worst kind of scandal, it's up to Gia to set things right, and she only has a month to do it. As Gia chases the truth across the globe, she finds herself falling for this broken family, though it's clear they're hiding dark secrets. Can she find the truth in time to protect their fortune and secure her success at the firm? And can she hold on to what's most important, even if it means admitting that what she's always wanted isn't what she actually needs?
I always find stories about like a really rich family and like the secrets and the corruption of that very interesting. So I can see the appeal to this story.
That's what's standing out for me. Like it's not like screaming my name, but I do think that this might be a book where the actual book is better than the synopsis.
Agreed. And honestly, that's the case sometimes. Like
it sure is.
There are summaries out there that don't do a book justice at all.
Agreed.
So next one we have is What Kind of Paradise by Janelle Brown, also releasing on June 3rd. It is a thriller psychological fiction, and it has 368 pages. The first thing you have to understand is that my father was my entire world. Growing up in an isolated cabin in Montana in the mid-1990s, Jane only knows the world that she and her father live in. Her father is elusive about their pasts, giving Jane little beyond the facts that they once lived in the Bay Area and that her mother died in a car accident, the crash propelling him to move Jane off the grid to raise her in a Walden-esque utopia. As Jane becomes a teenager, she starts pushing against the boundaries of her restricted world. She begs to accompany her father on his occasional trips away from the cabin, but when Jane realizes that her devotion to her father has made her an accomplice to a horrific crime, she flees Montana to the only place she knows to look for answers about her mysterious past and her mother's death, San Francisco. It is a city in the midst of a seismic change, when her quest to understand herself will force her to reckon with both the possibilities and the perils of the fledgling internet, and where she will come to question everything she values. In this sweeping, suspenseful novel from best-selling author Janelle Brown, we see a young woman on a quest to understand how we come to know ourselves. It is a bold and unforgettable story about parents and children, nature and technology, innocence and knowledge, the losses of our past, and our dreams for the future. Okay, her being involved in the crime with her father really made it interesting. I just thought that leading up to that was a little meh. But
yes,
I think
I included it because this is one of the Book of the Month's June picks, so I had a feeling it would be pretty popular.
Okay. Okay.
I don't know. I feel like it could be a hit or miss.
Only time will tell.
The last one I will be sharing today is Flashlight by Suzanne Choi. This comes out June 3rd. It is a literary fiction and it is 464 pages. One night, a man and his 10-year-old daughter take a walk on the beach. The next day, the girl is found nearly dead and her father has disappeared. Choi's latest novel tells the sweeping story of this fractured family. Sirk, the father, an ethnic Korean man born in Japan who emigrates to the United States in the 1960s, his former wife, Anne, an American dealing with the fallout of mistakes in her youth, and their daughter, Louisa, whose childhood is defined by crisis and pain. That description definitely leaves a lot to the imagination.
Yes, yes.
The first sentence really hooked me, and then it just dropped.
Yeah. I mean, hey, that intrigue is there. That's what gets you into a book. So
yeah,
maybe this will be like a follow-up. Like after the episode, you'll be like, Flashlight. Let me see.
Yes, I think I will.
Agreed. I think it's an interesting premise.
Yeah, agreed.
And the last book for today's episode, the 15th new release of June from Let's Talk Literature podcast, is The Catch by Ursa Dally Ward, also releasing on June 3rd. The genre is literary fiction and it is 352 pages. Dally Ward, a poet and memoirist, turns to fiction with this psychological thriller about twin sisters, Clara and Dempsey, who were separated as children after their mother's death. 30 years later, they are reunited, each spiraling in their own way. But when Clara sees a woman who seems to be their mother, but who hasn't aged a day since she vanished, it upends everything the sisters thought they knew. Now that is good. That's a good intrigue, small
Ooh,
synopsis
yeah.
that gets you thinking. That is
That's good. I'm intrigued.
Like the other one was like, okay, that kind of just drops off. Like
I want a little bit more.
a little more, but
This one, good.
That's all I need. That's all I need.
That's all from me today. I hope you guys found a couple of new releases that you're excited for. I definitely did. Will, I hope you did too. Tonight, Love Island USA comes out, so
Ooh.
I am ecstatic. I will be
Amazing.
tuned in on the couch with a snack, and I can't wait. So
let's leave the episode. What is the next book you will be reading to kick off June? I know we're currently reading a book, but what's your next book that you're going to read?
I think the next one I'm going to be reading is Bury Our Bones in the Midnight Soil.
Oh, love it.
Yeah,
keep it with the new releases.
So.
I hope that when you finish up with your arc of Lisa Jewell's book, that you'll just bring it over and I can read it. And
I absolutely will.
Oh my God, that's amazing. Okay,
I
cool.
absolutely will. It's so good.
Cool.
What about you?
I'm between two books. One, so with the original idea that we were going to read My Friends, I was pushing off my Frederick Bachman book that I was going to read this month. So then I said, you know what, why don't I read Babel by R.F. Kuang? But now that we're pushing My Friends to July, maybe I'll read Beartown. So it's either going to be Beartown or Babel, and I'm not sure yet.
Very good choices.
Yeah, so they're both books that I've been wanting to read for a while. So I think, but I have to finish
Awesome.
The Hunger Games first. Sunrise on the Reaping first.
Absolutely have to. I can't believe you haven't yet.
I know that it'll be done by next episode. I promise you that. So.
All right, I'll hold you to it.
All right, well, thank you guys so much for taking the time on your precious Friday to spend some time with us. We really appreciate it. Be sure to join us over on Fable for our book club, as we are going to be reading Atmosphere by Taylor Jenkins Reid for our June book club. So you can join us for our discussions over there. And if you refer anyone to our book club, you get a $5 credit towards a book to buy from Fable. So nice little incentive for you to join our book club and add other people and invite them in for a good time.
If you guys like today's episode, please feel free to leave us a 5-star review. It helps us immensely. Leave us any comments, any suggestions you have for future videos. We're on a pretty good roll of like what we're putting out, but we're always open to new ideas and different formats. So let us know any thoughts you have, any comments, any books that you found from this episode that you're going to read. Let us know your thoughts. Make sure you're following us on all of our social medias. Anything else?
No, that's it. Yeah, we're pushing stuff out on YouTube, on Instagram, and on TikTok, so make sure you're following us over there.
All right, guys, thank you so much for watching, and we will see you next week for another episode of
Let's Talk Literature.
Bye.
Bye.